Welcome to the Reed Report. Appreciate you guys taking this time to hear me out here on the Reed Report. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when videos like these go up on the Reed Report. Today, of all days, we have a very interesting topic, another WNBA topic, because women's basketball is heating up. Of course, we got football season here, one more week of preseason, and then we will be entering into the regular season. Football season is back, a season that we all anticipate and look forward to every time it ends. After that Super Bowl, especially if you are a fan of a team who are improving, had to endure a close loss in the playoffs, such as the Green Bay Packers, because you know that the upcoming season could most likely be your year. Houston Texans, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, a lot of teams to look out for. But today we're here with women's basketball as they continue to, enter the final stretch of their season. And you see the two people on the screen. You see Caitlin Clark and you see Skylar Diggins. As I mentioned before, Skylar Diggins was one of the players that in that draft 2013, which was like 11 years ago now, where I started, the most anticipated season of women's basketball in a long time. Of course, I wasn't around for the beginning, the inauguration of the season, when the Houston Comets and things like that, Lisa Leslie. But this one, I would say any time before those years, 2013 was the hottest it has been since this season, with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And Skylar Diggins was one of those players I was watching out of college who attended Notre Dame. She was drafted by, at the time, the Dallas Wings. They were the Dallas Wings, or no, Tulsa. She was drafted by the Tulsa Shock. Let me confirm that. Pretty sure that's correct, but she was drafted by Tulsa. Let's see, where's Skylar Diggins. Yeah, Tulsa. She was drafted by the Tulsa Shock, which became the Dallas Wings in 2016. And I would say of all three of the top three, I believe it was her. It was Elena Delle Donne, who, if I'm not mistaken, was the let me confirm this. Let me confirm this real quick. So the 2013 WNBA draft, I believe Elena Delle Donne was the first. Yeah, she was the first overall pick. Let's see. No, it was Brittany Griner. Then Elena Delle Donne. Then Skylar Diggins. Brittany Griner, of course, out of Baylor. Elena Delle Donne out of Delaware. I believe Joe Flacco, he's still a quarterback in the league, went there as well. And then Skylar Diggins out of Notre Dame. Those were the colleges they attended, and they were the top three picks in 2013. Like I said, one of the most anticipated classes in a long time at the time. And of the three players in that draft, Skylar Diggins, Delle Donne, and Griner, Skylar is actually the only one that is yet to win a championship. She came close in 2021 with the Phoenix Mercury, but they lost. Who did they lose to? I believe it was the Chicago Sky. They lost to the Chicago Sky in the WNBA Finals. But Brittany Griner, she won a championship her second year in the league in 2014. 10-time All-Star, 2-time league scorer, top scorer in the league, blocks leader, and all that. I would say the two ahead of Diggins are the most accomplished. And then you got Elena Delle Donne, who started with the Chicago Sky, but she left there and went to the Washington Mystics, where she's still currently playing. And she won a championship in 2019. That was the same year the Washington Nationals actually won their first WNBA World Series, I should say. And Delle Donne's a 2-time league MVP, 15 and 19, 7-time All-Star, 4-time All WNBA first team, part of the 50-40-90 club. And then you got Skylar Diggins. She's the only one, again, like Sky. She was I would say she was my favorite coming out of that draft. She Of course, the only one that hasn't won a championship. She's played, this is her third team, started with in Tulsa, who then became Dallas, and then she was with Phoenix, and now she's in Seattle. And 6-time All-Star. She's still a very accomplished player. 6-time All-Star, 4-time first team, 2-time second team, Don Staley Community Leader Award, most improved player her second year. But again, she's yet to win that elusive championship, and she is on a team that, you know, is in contention. They're in the playoffs. They most likely they'll make the playoffs. They are currently the 5th seed in the playoffs. But the thing I wanted to touch on was yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the other day? They were playing the let me get that. It was what's the date on this game? August 18th. It was yesterday. They were playing the Indiana Fever. Of course, Caitlin Clark, hot topic, most box office player right now. Of course, you got Asia Wilson, who's the best player, but I think when it comes to best, you know, top box office, that's Caitlin Clark far and above. But Asia Wilson, MVP, most likely Defensive Player of the Year, best player on the planet, but it's Caitlin Clark as far as like box office and things like that. Every game is she's on the road, it's gonna sell out. But the Fever, who has been hot, it's been only 2 games, but they've been hot since the All-Star break. And again, like I said in my in a previous video, my last video about Caitlin Clark, you can check that one out. It's reminding me of Luka Doncic. You know, they started the season in 2020 in NBA, but then the pandemic happened, and they had to restart it in the bubble, the last 8 games in the playoffs and the championship. And Luka looked like a totally different player. Like he looked like MVP Luka, and that's the vibes I'm getting from Caitlin Clark since the Olympic break, the 1-month break. You can tell she's been in the lab, getting better and things like that. We talked about how Don Staley, appeared as if she had some regret by not putting Caitlin Clark on the team, on the Olympic team, because, you know, early in the season they were looking at her like, whatever. But then you saw how much she started to improve, and then now you're seeing another level since the Olympic break. Again, they did also, her team WNBA beat the Olympic team at the All-Star game, and they're coming out swinging as well. They just beat a good team. They beat the Seattle Storm with Skylar Diggins on the team as well, and of course Caitlin Clark, she breaks WNBA rookie assist record as Fever beat Storm 92-75. So it really, you know, at the end of the day, it really wasn't. It was close in the first half, but they eventually pulled away in the fourth quarter. It seems like 33-17. I didn't see the game. I'm not gonna pretend I saw the game. I did see some of the stuff on the internet on what happened, which is what we're here to talk about. But and you had Skylar Diggins, you had the Seattle Storm coach, who was apparently not happy with the Indiana Fever coach not pulling her starters when the game was well in hand. And you saw video of Skylar, you know, also chirping, and you saw Caitlin, who's starting to grow an edge, you know, saying stop crying. She probably already had her edge, but it's starting to get highlighted now. You saw her, you know, saying stop crying. You can visibly hear her saying to them, you know, stop crying. And we're gonna look at what happened between Diggins. Again, I like Skylar Diggins, but she did this on purpose, and I'm not even mad at what she did. But I do think the Indiana Fever needs an enforcer, somebody to protect Caitlin Clark. I'm yet to see that. I don't think it needs to be Aaliyah Boston, because she is a key player on that team as well. And when I see stuff like this, it to me is just clearly hard for these players to accept Caitlin Clark being the one to completely change the game and put more eyes on the game. They didn't want it to be Caitlin Clark for whatever reason. It's Caitlin Clark, because you see Asia Wilson, she's beast and she's doing her thing, and I don't think anybody would come at her like that. But Asia's been around for a minute. This is probably like her 7th year. She's been around since 2018. But she's like I said, she's not more box office than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. What Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has done is completely, like, you can start to see how the game is really about to go to another level. And you've seen what I'm about to show you, the video of Diggins bumping into Clark. You've seen this happening to Clark. You saw the girl from the Chicago Sky, not Angel Reese. What's her name? She's bad too. She can score her behind off. But you saw her bump into Clark. You've seen Clark early on take some hits, and she just walk away nonchalant like it don't bother her. But I really think there needs to be somebody who's gonna run up on these opposing teams and let it be known that you ain't gonna keep bumping into our star player like this. This is our box office player. And here's the again, here's the video. I don't need to use sound, but here's the video of Skylar Diggins bumping into Caitlin Clark after the game. You can see her clearly speed up just to do that, just to try to provoke her. But Caitlin didn't take the bait. She didn't take the bait. She was nonchalant as always. You see Diggins, look at her speed up, bam. And Caitlin just no-sold it like a wrestling move. You see it again? Sped up, watch out. She could have clearly avoided Clark if she wanted to, but she probably wanted her to get in her face. I'm not saying blows would have been thrown or anything, but she clearly was looking for some drama there. They weren't happy. And again, I think it's more than just, not taking the starters out. It was more than just the Fever refusing to take their starters out when the Storm took their starters out. And then you also get a lot of times, a thing that also irritates these WNBA players is when reporters ask them about Caitlin Clark. Reporters ask opposing teams after they play Caitlin Clark about Caitlin Clark, and they don't want to answer these questions. They don't want to talk about Clark, and I'm not knocking them for that. I'm not knocking them for that either. I like the controversial. I'm not saying, fight or do anything like that. But again, I think storylines are also part of the game, and it's what drives sports. Again, we're looking at the storyline of Stephon Diggs in NFL playing the Buffalo Bills this season. We're looking at the storyline of Klay Thompson returning back to Golden State. These are storylines. Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors in years past, after those playoff battles, and Draymond and everybody talking, we're looking forward to that. We're looking for LeBron returning back to Cleveland, returning back to Miami, or whatever the case may be. Kyrie Irving versus LeBron and things like that. Storylines are what drives sports, and this is the type of controversy you need. Of course, you don't need people hard down just hating each other and throwing blows, but you can tell they don't want to talk about Caitlin Clark. And you're going to see that in this next clip. Clearly, there's some resentment there, and to me, that's fine. If you want the game to grow, this is the type of stuff you need. You don't need pure hatred, because ain't nobody looking for that. But you got to also know, these players got to also know how to handle these type of situations. Knowing what to say, what not to say, building the suspense. I don't mind those bumps and things like that, as long as it's in the parameter of the game. But you can see after the game, they were asked about Caitlin Clark, and they clearly had no interest in praising her, big up in her, and I'm not mad at that. But I think they do need to realize that Caitlin Clark is your bread and butter, whether you like it or not. You can say there were people way before her and things like that, which is true, but there is also that person that comes around who's just the one, and Caitlin Clark is the one. But we're going to show this video. The reporter asked about Caitlin Clark, and this player, I think I'm going to learn these people's names, but she was just like, let's talk about our rookies, but I'll let you guys hear it.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about our rookies. Nika's been great. She's been awesome, putting her work in. I think our Jordan has been phenomenal too, her second year of her growth. Our focus is our team and what we need to do as a community to be better. So I feel like what this group has in our locker room has made us better. And that's the biggest importance for us is focus on our personnel and what we need to do to, get things going.
Yeah. So there's definitely some resentment, as I was saying. And, you know, they don't have to talk about Caitlin Clark. Like I said, to me, that builds suspense for the playoffs, for the next game that they play against each other. As for Skylar Diggins, of course, she purposely bumped into Caitlin Clark. You know, she hasn't come out or denied it. I haven't found anything. But I see a lot of people online saying that this is surprising coming from Skylar Diggins, her actions, because she talked in the past about how she was bullied as a rookie. So for her to do this, it was you know, a lot of people are disappointed in her. But Skylar, you know, I've seen her, you know, even that year with Phoenix, where they, you know, eventually got rid of her, she didn't get along with probably Diana Taurasi and the coach, and there was some stuff that came out about that. But this is the most chippy that I've seen her, and I was surprised to see that she and Shai too, you know, the chirping she was doing when the fever was up by a lot, and Caitlin telling them to stop crying, and then her intentionally bumping into her. I was shocked by it. I ain't mad at it, but I do. As there is resentment toward Caitlin Clark, like, look, like I said, she's just what's it. She's what's happening now. She's the it person who has taken the league to put more eyes on it than ever. I know you can say, oh, she's not the sole reason, and we were here way before her. You were, but again, there's always that one. Again, love or hate, yes, the NFL has always been big before Tim Tebow and after, but you can't deny what Tim Tebow mania was. You can't deny what Lynn Sanity was. These things happen. And again, you can dislike Caitlin Clark, but again, if you want to, you can't deny what she has brought to this league. She is a phenomenal player who we like. So is Angel Reese, but that's just the thing. Some people aren't going to pick a side. I'm not necessarily picking a side. I'm just saying I think Caitlin Clark is more box office. I think she's more box office. And I just thought this was interesting to see because it was a big deal. It was a big deal, but they have to learn how to handle these things. They have to learn how to play into these things if they want to continue to grow the league. You don't want to sit there and wish that Caitlin Clark wasn't part of the league, because that would send it back to where it was in years past. The consumers, the people, they know what they want. And Caitlin Clark, they're saying that, hey, Caitlin Clark is who we want. This is what we want. But that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to touch on that. And again, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. And look out for more videos like these, and we will talk soon. Peace.